Zambia is a country rich in natural resources. Copper, gold and uranium are all mined extensively, along with several precious stones. Yet despite this, Zambia is also a nation gripped by poverty, where over 50% of the population live below the poverty line. Following the privatisation of the mining industry in the 1990s, many multinational companies started working in that sector. Many of these companies make large profits from their businesses, but not all are paying their fair share back to Zambia.
Tax dodging in Zambia is a serious problem because we who work on these issues link it to our poverty levels in this nation. We know that we have very rich minerals in our ground, and we also know that the price of copper is at an all-time high. We also know that the investors who have come to invest in our country are not paying the full value of tax that should go to Zambians.
I think the range of problems covers a number of issues. For example, the actions of the big companies themselves. In most cases, they aggressively go out of their way to do whatever they can do within the law and sometimes outside the law to pay as little taxes as possible.
Tax dodging by some unscrupulous multinational companies has serious consequences for the people of Zambia. It means that the government of Zambia receives less revenue, which they could be investing in essential services such as education and healthcare.
There are these challenges in the community where the mines are operating from. The health, the inadequacy as far as health is concerned, education, infrastructure which is inadequate. The mines are trying in a small way to help out in some of these things with some small farmers around here. But that is not much. But we would appreciate if really the taxes are paid to the national treasury so that the government can plow into the community so that we can live a better life.
Less than 10% of Zambia's gross domestic product is spent on healthcare, despite the fact that life expectancy is just 49 years.
We are at Kabundi East Clinic, a clinic which is located in the mine area with a catchment area population of 45,135 people. We have a shortage of staff. We have about only 21 nurses. So taking care of patients, general cases, is very difficult. You find maybe 2 on shifts. Then for the maternity wing, we only have 8 midwives. And in a month, we are expected to have 199 deliveries. And of all those people, there's only 1 doctor in the facility.
Edson Timothy Mfande went to his local hospital when he fell ill with stomach problems. Despite having severe swelling and problems going to the toilet, his appointments were continually cancelled, until eventually he was told that he had been struck off the waiting list because there were too many patients to be seen. A doctor advised him to visit St. Teresa's Mission Hospital, which is supported by Christian Aid partner Chaz.
The public sector has limitation in terms of grant and drugs that they do have. Chaz has supported the hospital all the way for drugs, but it has helped the hospital to come together with the community. That makes a bit different with other hospitals where that kind of support and involvement of community is not there. People feel like here they are well followed than if they are other places.
If Zambia was to receive the amount of taxes it is rightfully due, then the government would be able to support essential services such as healthcare. This would be far more sustainable than relying on aid to finance these services.
Well, because by the very nature of the problem itself, tax avoidance involves companies taking advantage of the lack of transparency around information, around transactions. It's quite difficult to get accurate figures. We estimate that the government of Zambia, in that a period of two years, lost something like $70 million on one company. Now, to put that in context, $70 million is more than what the UK government gave the government of Zambia in aid in the same period. It's very naive to expect that companies will willingly one day wake up and said, oh, look, we've stopped doing what we're doing, we want to be transparent, they need to be compelled, they need to be literally forced to do that. And the only way you can do that is by changing the rules, calling for more transparency and rules which actually punish companies that violate some of these things.
We believe that the British government, the likes of the G20 countries, parliamentarians in the West have a huge responsibility to ensure that the investors who come from their countries are actually giving Zambia a fair deal. Our vision is really to see that people live dignified lives, and therefore we are depending on resources from our minerals to really ensure that this happens. It's our role as a churches and mandated by our faith to ensure that we bring out the voice of the voiceless to the fore, so that those who have the power, the duty bearers, are able to do something about it. The church's message from Zambia to the church in the West and a message to Christian Aid is not to relent.
Christian Aid believes that tax dodging costs the developing world an estimated $160 billion each year. Together, we can end this practice for the benefit of the world's poorest. Join us in the campaign for tax justice.